You're standing at the register of a gas station, somewhere past 1 in the night. The cashier stares at you without looking away. You stare back. In their eyes, you feel a tiredness that comes from looking at people like you, day after day. You bought a $5 coffee. You can't even pay for that. Your card gets declined for the second time. That rejection sound echoes in your ears as if it's bouncing off every wall in the room. You open your wallet, digging for change. And your eye catches a crumpled piece of paper tucked in the corner of your wallet. And that's where the story begins. You'd bought that ticket 2 weeks ago from the corner shop near your apartment. The number on the jackpot sign had made you so happy that day, tears had welled up just from looking at it. Imagine, $600 million. But this was just internet money you'd thought, something you saw in an ad. Someone wins this, you'd told yourself, and you knew that someone was you. You consider throwing the ticket away, but something nags at you. Curiosity sparks, and thinking maybe you pull out your phone. You download the app, you look carefully at the numbers and begin entering them. You look at the numbers on your phone. Your hands start trembling. You check the second number. Your chest tightens. By the fifth number, you can't breathe. Your mind is in shock. You're standing beside a light next to the gas station, holding in your hand a piece of paper worth more than everything 3 generations of your family ever earned combined. You glance at the cashier, busy with other things. The people outside aren't looking at you. Everyone caught up in their own world. And you are the only person on earth who knows. All you have to do is decide. Within 60 seconds, the weight of this decision presses down on you. Instincts speak from somewhere inside. People listen to their instincts most in moments of crisis, and this is a moment of crisis. You put the ticket back in your wallet, and you pay for the coffee with your loose change, $6. You give $1 extra. The cashier doesn't notice. You step outside to the parking lot to drink your coffee in the cool air, and you realize that the person who walked in and the person who walked out are not the same. The first rule, no one can know you didn't set this rule consciously. Your subconscious set it. Under that light, your brain had already done the calculation. If this information leaks, you are no longer you. You become a target, a walking ATM, a newspaper headline. You didn't sleep that night. You opened 15 browser tabs. Reading what was written on the paper, how can I use this money? How should I claim the winnings, wealth privacy law, and what the lottery even is? You learned until 4 in the morning. And the more you learned, the more clearly you saw. Protecting the money starts with protecting your identity. The next morning, you travel to a different city, 4 hours away, a place where no one knows your face. The lottery office was small and clinical. A woman in a gray jacket verified your ticket twice. When the number appeared on the screen, her eyebrows rose 1 millimeter, just 1 millimeter. But you noticed. And that momentary reaction was the first signal that your life had entered a new category. Lump sum or installments? She asks. You already knew the answer. Lump sum, of course. After tax, $314 million. On paper, you are still the same person. The 29-year-old who was searching for answers until 4 in the morning, calculating what he'd eat tomorrow. But the 4 documents you signed changed everything. When you step outside the building, you are both laughing and crying, and it isn't clear which is which. The first week, changed nothing. Monday morning, you go to work. You stocked shelves, straightened boxes of screwdrivers, sorted paints, nodded through your manager's pointless meeting, ate a burger in the cafeteria at lunch, $3. That morning when you woke up, $314 million had been deposited into your account. That evening, your roommate asked for gas money, $10. You could have bought a car and hired a driver on top of it. It wouldn't have mattered. You pulled $10 from your wallet, said, sure, no problem, as if it were your last dollar. In that moment, you realize the first rule is holding. The performance never stops. Every conversation is a small theater scene. Everything done in pretense. Every coffee order, every price check at the grocery store, every things are a bit tight this month. All of it is now a role, and you are both the actor and the only audience member who knows the truth. People can't understand this. Those who say, I'm really not that attached to money, say it because they've never had any. Now you are carrying the full weight of money, and the weight pulls you not downward, but inward, building the machine. You went through 3 stages to find a lawyer, a friend of a friend of a friend, in a city far from yours. No visible connection to you. You told him half-truths. You don't have to tell the full truth to anyone, you just need signatures. Signatures that keep your name out of everything. John. You chose this name because it means nothing. A neutral term, geographically ambiguous, forgettable, perfect. Within 3 weeks, you quit your job, got a better offer in another city. Nobody asked, nobody questions ordinary explanations, and this became the most valuable lesson you'd ever learned. A new city, mid-sized, where no one knows your face, a 2-bedroom apartment rented under a corporate name, A 4-year-old car, bought with cash. On the surface, an ordinary young man putting his life together. Underneath, where the machine operates, banks buying index funds, municipal bonds, a real estate portfolio across 3 different cities. Nobody sees your name. You don't appear in any document. And you still buy sandwiches at the gas station, because a gas station sandwich draws 0 attention. The psychological wait. 6 months pass. The bank returns are roughly $40,000 a day. Per day. Sometimes at 2 in the morning, you think about this number, and it doesn't feel real. You sit in a secondhand armchair, compare prices at the supermarket, 11 years of habit still intact. That's when you feel the shape of a new loneliness. There are people around you, people you've met in the new city. There's a small firm, you work there as a project manager. Because an unemployed 29-year-old raises more questions than a low-income one. You sit in meetings, you chat over lunch, but no one knows you. Every person you meet knows a man who doesn't exist, and that man is getting better and better at playing his role, which both fills you with pride and makes you sick. You think about your mother constantly. She crosses your mind every day. You want to call and tell her, "Mom, stop worrying about anything." You could pay off her entire house tomorrow with one signature, but you can't say it, because the moment you do, everything starts to unravel. Instead, through your lawyer, you set up a fictional regional housing assistance fund. Your mother's remaining mortgage was paid off anonymously through that fund. 2 months later, she called, crying. Someone charitable paid it off. I can't figure out who. My God, what a wonderful person, you said. And after you hung up, you sat motionless for 10 minutes. Do you lie to people because you love them, or do you love them enough to lie? Where is the line? Your best friend. I won't say the name. Let him not know his name appears in this story. There are months when he struggles to make rent. You know this not because he tells you, but because you see his Instagram stories. That crooked photo angle, the cluttered desk in the background, the good night caption, you know him. You know when that feeling comes. You could save him with one transfer. 4 seconds, one button. You don't. Because after one transfer come questions. Where did this money come from? And you can't answer that question honestly. If you lie, it births another lie. And one day it all collapses. No one had told you the cost of making this calculation. This is the heaviest part of wealth, being able to and being unable to, at the same time. Constantly. Dana. It was bar talk. People from the new city. People you didn't know but whose faces you now recognized. Someone asked, what would you do if you won 100 million? Everyone told their fantasy. House, car, vacation. Ordinary answers, beautiful answers. You laughed and said this. I wouldn't tell anyone, not a single person. Your voice was different when you said it. You felt it, but it was too late. Dana, the woman sitting at the corner of the table, who had spoken very little that night, who had been listening to everything. She looked at you, for a full second, maybe less. That's a very specific answer, she said. You went home. You felt your heartbeat for hours. 3 weeks passed. Dana called about something else, a mutual friend's birthday, but at the party she pulled you aside. I looked something up, she said in a casual voice, smiling. A large lottery claim, filed anonymously through a bank. Right around the time you moved here, your body went cold, from the inside. People do that all the time, you said. Your voice came out calmer than you wanted, miraculously calm. Yeah, she said, I just found it funny. And she moved on, but you didn't. For 3 weeks, you called your lawyer and reviewed every document, every record, every digital trace. Everything was clean. Dana was guessing, a sharp, dangerous guess, but just a guess. And in that moment, you understood the truth. Keeping a secret is not a single decision. It is a discipline taken anew every day. One loose sentence. One moment of arrogance. One, I wonder what they'd say if they knew glance. All of these are clues, and people follow these threads far better than you'd think. As the machine grows 1 year past, the accounts are now buying real estate. In 3 cities through different entities. Tenants pay market rate, money circulates in a clean loop, tax returns are perfectly, beautifully boring. You work as a project manager at a small firm and you've realized you're actually good at this. You enjoy the meetings because in them you are genuinely yourself. Knowledge, strategy, reading people. These were always in you, even before the money. Maybe that's the real discovery. Money didn't change you. It made you sharper. You now see with much greater clarity what truly matters and what truly doesn't. But that clarity is also a loneliness, because you can't share it with anyone. Your mother's house is paid off. your sister's university tuition through an anonymous scholarship fund, your nephew's education accounts to open at 18, the source untraceable for at least a decade. You are protecting the people you love by hiding from them. Layla, you met her after 2 years. Real feelings, more real than anything in a long time. 4 months went by together, and the question began asking itself more loudly every night while you were trying to sleep, in your head. Do you tell her? If you were the version of yourself before the ticket, you would have told her on the second date, laughing. You won't believe what happened. That version of you would have run toward the risk. You observe her relationship with money. When money comes up in conversation, how does the tone of her voice change? When she sees something luxurious, what does she feel? Does she envy other people's luck, or can she be genuinely happy for them? These thoughts disturb you because you realize you're asking these questions about her, and asking these questions means you're seeing her not as a human being but as a risk assessment. And that thought makes you sick. This is the most painful thing money has taught you. You lose the reflex to trust people. Trust is replaced by calculation. Sincerity is replaced by strategy. And you don't want this, but you don't know how to go back either. One evening, Layla asks, "Sometimes I feel like you're very far away, like half your mind is always somewhere else." "Sometimes I get like that," you say. "I'm sorry. This isn't even a lie, really. It's the most true sentence you have." The 2 a.m. accounting. Sometimes you get up, walk to the kitchen, sit by the window. City lights below, cars passing, someone heading home late at night, someone going to work, someone maybe like you carrying something they can't tell anyone. $40,000 a day. You think about this number and feel nothing. Then your mother's voice comes to mind, and on the phone, crying, saying, "What kind of person does something like this?" And in that moment, you feel everything. Money isn't freedom, they say. True, but not entirely. Money can give freedom, but only when it remains secret are you truly free in the full sense. The moment it becomes visible, freedom ends and negotiation begins. Everyone wants to talk to you about something, a favor, an opportunity, an emergency, just a small thing. And you don't want to be the only person who knows everything. Only that. You want to be known. Dana's lesson. After Dana, you became more careful. You don't drink anymore with people you don't know well. You've built a more boring, more forgettable version of yourself. You never say anything memorable. You never trigger the feeling of, "he knows too much." This is also a loss, because the real you, the you before the ticket, was a loud, curious man who didn't hide what he thought. Someone who listened to people, asked too many questions, sometimes said too much. That man no longer exists. Or he exists but lives in hiding, only when you're alone at 2 in the morning in front of the kitchen window. So let me ask you something. 18 months have passed. 18 months in which the machine has run, life has been protected, the people you love have been quietly looked after. And Layla is sitting across from you tonight. At dinner, she's smiling, talking about her day, unaware of anything. Or maybe aware. Maybe she feels the distance between you two, but isn't saying it, because saying it means waiting for you to say it. I'm asking you 2 questions, and you don't have to answer either of them out loud. Just think. First question, that moment you stood in the gas station parking lot. Ticket in your wallet, coffee in your hand, no one knowing. Did you really make the right decision? Or did you make it out of fear? Second question, if you told Layla today, the whole thing, what would you lose, and what would you gain? You know the answer, somewhere inside, but it's hard to say it because to say it, you first have to admit this. Maybe the greatest cost of your wealth was not money. Maybe it was the real you, and maybe the only way to find yourself again is to tell someone, or maybe you'll stay silent for 1 more year. Both are a choice, and both take their toll. That moment you stood in the gas station parking lot under the fluorescent light. If someone had taken a photograph of your face in that instant, what would you have seen? Fear, joy, or something right between the two without a name?